Woohoo! Welcome to Hex Token channel, folks. Man, oh man, we've got some exciting stuff today. We are not sleeping around here. We have got plenty of stuff to talk about, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Why am I wearing this headgear? I do not know. Hey, but there we are. I'm wearing it anyway. And welcome, of course. Let's get into it, folks. I'm just going to make sure that my audio is up and running. Maybe that's why I had my headset on. That's just the way it goes. And Easy's in the house. Woo! Man, that's a long chant there. For call, that's pretty much the cry of this channel now. So nice to see Easy in the house. And New York City, let's go represent in New York City. Pretty cool. And what else we got? I've got a couple of emojis there painted out around the Hex and that. They're pretty cool. Hex Token channel members have all got access to those. Very nice. And of course, got the cars in the house as well. Brendan says that Nascar looks sweet. Yeah, we're going to get into that. It's going to be pretty exciting looking at the Nascar stuff. It's going to be very cool. So let me just have a check there. The audio sounds good, so we're going to move on from there. Sam's in the house. Hi, Kiwi Hex in Pasadena, California. Hey, nice to see you, Sam. Big shout out to Hex Token channel member, of course. And we've got a Get Some Howdy. Hey, A1, good to see you. And Alex Fame's in the house. Hello, guys. Woohoo! Nice one. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. Actually, how is the subscriber going? Let me have a look at my studio and to see how that's going. Haven't checked that actually. Let's have a look. We are doing. How we doing on the old subscribers? Let's pull that up now. And of course, 2,948. We need 52 more subscribers to hit that magical 3,000 and get this channel into the next level of Hex, Pulsechain, and PulseX YouTubers. Of course, that's that next level over the 3K mark and put us in the middle of the pack somewhere, or the bottom of the middle of the pack, but still in the middle of the pack. That's the way it's going to rock and roll. Because Hex, Pulsechain, and PulseX is going to be on fire this year. It's going to be crazy mad when that Pulsechain goes. And we're excited. We're optimistic. We've got huge expectations. Obviously, no work of others of whatever. But we know that this is going to blow up huge on this chain when it gets launched. It's going to be crazy, man. Crazy. It's going to be crazier than smoke in an anthill. Crazier than smoke in an anthill. It's going to be absolutely wild. Pretty cool. Or was it a beehive? One of the two. You could take your pick, but it's going to be pretty funny. Matt and Barley says nearly 3,000. Yee, bam. I like that, Matt. Good to see you. And yeah, 3,000. Maybe when we hit 3,000 subs, I have to drink 3,000 Bintang beers. 3,000 in a row. I'm not sure what that would do to me, but that could be something we could think about. Sam says can't quit the day job until XXXXX says Sam. Hey Sam, that's all good. And Brazology says, woohoo! And nice one, Brazology in the house. Sandeep says, lots of love and greetings from India. Hey, Sandeep, greetings to you from India as well. I have a very good friend in India. So they keep me updated about what's happening in India. And I think they're up in Calcutta somewhere. So that's an interesting place too. You are next level Superman. Woohoo, says Jamie. Hey, Jamie, appreciate that. And soon 10,000K, bro. Give it a few months. I appreciate that, Easy. And onwards and upwards for sure. Lol says Matt. Nice. All right. Yeah. Lol on the 3,000 Bintang beers. Matt probably knows that I probably wouldn't last past 1 or 2 beers. Probably be the case. Hello, says Francia. Hey, Francia. Awesome to see you. Hey, we're going to get into the comments, but we'll just get into this into the results straight off the bat today. And then we're going to talk about the Nascar Daytona 500. And all of that good stuff. I've got a few things queued up for that. So some of the things maybe you haven't seen. I know that there's been quite a few streamers on this today, and it's been exciting, right? There's been so much streaming about it today because it is exciting, and it is a next step for Hex and Pulsechain expansion takeover. It really is going to be pretty cool. Oh, don't forget PulseX too, of course. Let's refresh the old PulseX.com. And what have we got here? $961.6 million US on the ETH chain to sacrifice. That is delicious. And of course, the sacrifice rate will increase by 5% in 19 hours and 40 minutes. We're getting another rise. So you've got that long to get this one. At the moment, we've got the base points. I always say the base points, 10,000 points per $3.56. And of course, there's a volume multiplier, 2 components. The second one's a volume multiplier, proportionally ranking your USD dollar sacrifice. Of course, the base points times the volume multiplier equals your total points that you're going to get. Obviously, you're sacrificing for the freedom of association and all that sort of good stuff. So nice. And there we are. So 10,000 points for $3.56. Starting to get up there. in the middle of the pack there. So for sure, here is the curve. And of course, here we are over here. We're on day 38 down here. And of course, $3.56 on the vertical axis here as we slowly march up and get into this middle of the pack now, which is where we are in terms of sacrificing points. So what would that be in terms of the PulseX price without the volume multiplier? That would be 0.000356 US cents. So it gives you an idea of what that is. So pretty cool. After you do sacrifice, of course, your PulseX, free PulseX will show up on the Pulsechain mainnet when that goes live. Most people expect that somewhere in March, possibly in April is the way I'd probably phrase that. So obviously software, which is subject to software, but we are seeing quite a few things happening on the Pulsechain at the moment with the transactions, which is a little confusing to me. I haven't been able to work it out. Haven't heard anyone else seem to work it out either. So it's just behind the scenes. So interesting stuff there. A1 says hit the likes. You smash the likes. Smash the subscribe. Go for gold on that. Michael's in the house. 100x from PulseX and Pulse and PulseX. I'm retired. Bring it on. Yeah, I think a lot of people are quite happy for 100x. Of course, if you hold your bags, that's when you're going to be able to try and get the 1,000x, the 10,000x, the 14,000x, and maybe even higher than that. Who knows? Easy says 100x. Nah, watch 1,000. I knew Easy was going to come and do that, so it's good timing from me. Matt says in Bali, I'm going to pimp out my scooter PulseX styles. That'd be pretty awesome, Matt. And of course, in Bali, that would be pretty cool. The colors are fantastic for pimping it out, so pretty nice. And nice. We've got the little Russian bot in there. Let's see how the moderators are doing on that one. No, moderator's a bit slow on that one. Let's get rid of this one. And we're going to hide user from channel. Cool. All right. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, little Russian bot or whatever it is there. Nice. All right. So let's jump over there. We're going to go to pulsex.info. This is the official DApp. If you want to sacrifice, pulsex.info. The link is in the video description. I'll just give a quick coverage of this for new people to the PulseX sacrifice. Maybe you come a bit late. We had many people come late for the Pulsechain sacrifice. A lot. I'm talking about a lot of people came late for that. And of course, they are now sacrificing for PulseX. So if you want to do that, pulsex.info is the official DApp or site that you can sacrifice from. If you're doing Ethereum or any compatible Ethereum chain, Binance Smart Chain, Polygon Matic, etc., you can sacrifice to this one address. That's where we've all sacrificed to on those chains. OX075 ends in DDC8. That is the official address. Now, typically, you can use a lot of the popular tokens or coins. You could use ETH, Hex, stable coins, wrap Bitcoin, all that sort of stuff on there. You can use all that. And that will be the easiest thing for your points to be calibrated. If you want to use some of the other chains, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, etc., just follow the rest of the instructions, step 1 to 3, and you'll be perfectly fine. If you're a little nervous about sacrificing, then just do a small amount and then do your full amount that you want to sacrifice. Obviously, the rate at the moment is 10,000 points for $10.56. And, of course, you'll get a volume multiplier as well based on how much your US dollars is relative to everybody else proportionally. So that's how that works. Pretty cool. You can also tag an Ethereum address in there as well. And, of course, connect the Web3 wallet. So just follow the instructions for that. That should be perfectly fine. Let's get over to the main site. This is where we live when we do the results for live and for the day. So you can see this website only tracks Ethereum, Binance, and Polygon. So we're going to look at that. Bam. And we are now up to 12,422,619. Yay! So that basically puts us at around, if we include the other chains and other coins and tokens, that puts us over, in my estimation, $1,040 million US dollars. So that's based on some of the tokens that we saw a little while back. So that's approximately what that would be at the moment. Now, estimated total points at the moment, 17,146 billion. So 17 trillion, 146 billion. So if you say it in the big words, 17,146 billion, that's a lot, right? That is a lot when you say it like that. So 17 trillion, 146 billion, 378 million, 655,205. It's almost like you're trying to count down the number of particles in the universe, just about. Well, that would be a much bigger number. I think it's was it the number of 78, 10 to the power 78 or something. But that would be pretty huge on that. So funny. Okay, let's have a look. We've got the total wallets, 127,943, almost up to 128,000. That's steadily climbing as well, and that's nice. All right, let's have a look at the top 10 wallets. We've got over $10 million for the top 7 wallets. And we're going to look at flow down to the Magic Carpet Ride. Actually, at the top there, of course, there are two well-known wallets, Overwatch and then the Hex Godwild, number 2. And, of course, they both sacrificed for the Pulsechain one as well. So they are showing you that big VC money is willing to go into these projects because they see what it's going to do. It's going to be pretty powerful. So rank number 21 is the Magic Carpet Ride, a DE807. That is a pool or a syndicate where people get together. The guys are on YouTube. They've done some videos regularly on YouTube. And they also set up these sacrifice pools on Telegram. And, of course, they are on there every day. Well, not every day, but they're posting a lot of videos, smoking cigars, and they are excited about what's happening. They seem to be pretty good guys from what I can tell. So we wish them all the very best. And they have sacrificed $4.2 million. So that basically is opened. That pool's opened it up for small investors to get whale-sized multiplier. Remember, the second component is the volume multiplier. And you can see instead of them getting a small person doing, say, a couple $100, a couple $1,000, getting maybe a multiplier of 1.05 or something, they're going to get a multiplier of 2.14. So that's a huge deal. Basically more than double their bags on that sacrifice. So pretty nice for that. Let's have a look, see what they've done in the last day. So 2nd of February, they did $736. So definitely slowing down. The previous day, they did $820 and $3,000. So definitely slowing down today of 736 USDC. So pretty interesting there. Now, they watched the video today on liquid loans. They are sacrificing for that. I would not be surprised if they're a number one wallet. If not, they could be certainly in the top couple of wallets is my guess. I think they're going to have a pretty big sacrifice for that too. Now, I think that they were, I can't remember exact number. I think they were up at maybe 850,000. Let me know in the chat if you are part of that. Maybe you have got a better recall than I have. But I think that they will probably kick it off pretty quickly, at least getting up to that 7-figure mark for their sacrifice. So it's definitely something to watch. Once again, there's a risk-return trade-off. You're trusting people to do the sacrifice, and they run it by spreadsheet. They do look like great guys. We'll just watch the journey and see how that pays off, and we wish them all the best, of course. So let's scroll down to the bottom here in the top 100. So here we are, 1.2 million to get there at the moment, and of course you'll get a multiplier of 1.93 if you're in the top 100 there, based on these blockchains. Let's have a look at the top 500, and we actually checked our millionaires, how many millionaires we've got. We've typically been having about 109. Have we jumped up? No, it's still 109 millionaires in there at the moment. So 109, and that's a millionaires to get there. To be a millionaire, 1.92 as the multiplier for $1 million sacrifice. So there we are. Let's scroll down to the top 500, and we can see that our top 500, 202,843, they're getting a multiplier of 1.68 approximately. So that's pretty incredible there. So really, the multiplier does really drop. We're only in the top 500, and the multiplyer's already dropped down from 2.5 down to 1.68. So it really does get that weighting. Weighting does have an impact. Let's have a look at top 1,000. And as I always say, the top 1,000 will be controlling probably 70-75% of the public supply of PulseX. Obviously, that excludes the Origin account, which we're expecting to sacrifice later in the last couple of days. So we will watch that. So top 1,000, you need 101,132 for that sacrifice. So that will get you in there into that special group. And of course, at 100,000, they are getting a volume multiplier of around about 1.58 there. So 1.58 if we round that up. Let's look at the final category. Top 5,000 is the final one we like to look at. Let's scroll down and have a look. There are other categories. Obviously, we've got 128,000 wallets almost. But the top 500, man, this is jumped big. Okay, this is jumped big probably because we were sitting at 20,000 for ages. Then we went to $20,002. I think yesterday we were at $20,008 or something. We're now at $20,484. So obviously there's a big jump. Probably not many wallets, just a big jump in the number between that last sacrificer. But it's almost $500. So it's a pretty decent jump there. And of course the volume multiplier is 1.32 for that size of sacrifice. So 1.32. So it just shows you what that's like. Now, like I say, tell a story. At the beginning, a lot of people thought, oh man, the sacrifice, if I do 5 to 7K, which is a decent investment, they're saying, well, I might get in the top 5,000. Well, of course, that's been 4x'd because that's how successful this PulseX sacrifice has been. Now, if you get $1 billion capital raise in any any stock market, you'd be pretty happy with that. And a lot of those would get on the CNBC news that $1 billion have been raised. But obviously, crypto is a little bit different at this stage. But man, that is super successful as well. So nice. So that's the top 5,000. Let's have a look by token. We've looked at by wallet. Let's have a look by token. So we've got Hex at 555 million. Woo-hoo-hoo. We're almost at quadruple fives. We just need another almost a half a million, and we will be at 5555. So if you ever snapshot that, I don't know, it's pretty hard to get that. Assuming, but if that you see that happens, take a snapshot of it. That'd be pretty cool. We're at 555 million. That's pretty nice. And of course, we're at 2,171,550,000 hex has been sacrificed, and that's on the ETH chain. Of course, that when the airdrop happens, the copy of the ERC20s get copied over to PRC20s. Has the airdrop on Pulsechain, they'll be off the market and the sacrifice address as well. And so that's basically, let's argue, around about 7.5% off both chains, and that reduces the circulating supply in the public hands. So when I say public hands, excluding the origin accounts, so very exciting to see that. And of course, we have ETH at 237, so 237.6 million there. So pretty cool. And USD at almost 108 million. USDT at 47.2 million. BUSD at 17 million. Those are the top five, with BNB at 14.7 million, DAI at 6 million, Matic at almost 5 million there, AVAX at 3.5 million, and Wrap Bitcoin at 3.4. Those are the top 10, which is pretty stellar. And of course, I always like to point out a couple of themes here. Obviously, US dollars. We've got with Pulsechain sacrifice as well, we've got over $600 million, and that's going to be like a war chest. So you take the war chest, and we have no expectations of the work of others. But of course, we've got the war chest there, but we have no expectations. But we've got the war chest there. Okay, that's enough of that. But you get my point. So we've got the war chest, and then we're gonna have a buy and burns. We're gonna have a fee burn on the Pulsechain, and of course a magical buy and burn on the PulseX. And we've got the war chest, and we're partying and we're dancing in Bali. We're dancing with the bin tanks. So that's going to be a lot of fun too. So enough jokes aside, but that you can see the power that is being built up in this empire of world crypto domination. And a lot of people don't even know it's coming, except for you guys, because you guys are here already. And so very cool. All right, so we got the Uni token, of course. We've got Cake. All the DEX yield farmers are going to be coming with the Uni and the Cake, the Sushi over here, and the quick over here, and all the others. All the yield farmers are going to come over in the hundreds of thousands. Going to be mad rush. And of course, for the biggest yield farming in the crypto history, the AMM bot's going to run, create all these pools, print money out of nothing. It's going to be the biggest harvest of all time. And man, oh man, it's going to be so much fun. It's going to be really cool. And of course, the Pulsechain as well. There's not just one thing happening. Everything is happening at once, as I always say. And of course, it's going to be super exciting. I haven't got my chart up for that today, but we talked about that pretty in depth yesterday. So very nice. All right, so that's pretty cool. So we've got the war chest. We've got all the yield farming tokens in here. That's sort of indicative of the sacrifice. It's going to be pretty awesome. Let's separate this out by chains. We've got the BSC chain in yellow. White is Ethereum. Polygon is purple. Pink, and AVAX is red. We can see that Ethereum is the top 4 sacrifices. The stable coins, ETH and Hex. And of course, for BSC, we've got BSD, BNB, and USD Tether at number 5 to 7. And then, of course, we've got AVAX at number 10. And then once we get down to 16 and 18, we've got a Polygon there sitting there with the USDC and Matic. And that's pretty exciting to see that. Now, some of the tokens, of course, are sold down into DAI tokens. And, of course, that has probably had selling impacts on certain projects. We won't necessarily name them today, but that's definitely had probably some selling impact on their price, as some of it can sometimes be into hundreds, if not millions of dollars being sold down. So you can take your pick on those, but they're there as well. Pretty cool. Okay, before we get into the day results, let's just catch up on some of the comments here. Matt and Barley says, I think I did it. And Michael's, right, on the moderating. And then Michael says, yes, I'll be holding, have a price to sell, tiny amount, then can sit back and ride the wave. Yeah, nice one. I like that, Michael. Everyone's got to take a bit of profit sometimes, depending on what they're doing. And Hex Force says, just ordered my Daytona 500 Hex shirt. Woo! A nice Hex Force. That's so exciting. Oh, man. So that's pretty cool. Hey, maybe we can get you on live here, and wear that shirt. Hey, that's the thing is I'd be pretty keen. I'm going to open up the channel, get some people on here, and we'll have some live chats and talk about some cool topics. It's definitely coming up as well. So nice one, Hex Force. CJ's in the house. Hello, Bruce Solidity, Matt and Bali. And woohoo, says Craig. Hey, Craig Wadding. Great to see you in the house. And I appreciate the milk for the coffee. I do appreciate that. Big shout out. And hey, man, welcome. And hi, Matt. Jonathan says, Jonathan Kampala's in the house, says, hope you're a good suit, man. Thanks for all your work. Hey, Jonathan, appreciate that. And right back at you, Jonathan. So Alchemist says, great interview with Richard and Jane King from NASDAQ. Yes, I saw a bit of that. Didn't get to watch the whole thing. I was doing some recording at the time, but I'll go back and watch that premiere. Now, I did the first channel premiere on this channel yesterday with the Hex price prediction video, and I saw that Richard used the premiere feature for that, so that was pretty cool. Following in great steps there. Craig Wayne says, if you count ETH Hex and Polygon Hex, we're at 555 million. Yeah, fantastic. Hey, Craig, fantastic. And Pro Hexer says, good morning, bro. Wow. Hey, Pro Hexer, good to see you in the house. And live chats, I'd better get my hair done, says Craig. Yeah, that's right. Better get hair done. So I'll definitely putting out a invite out. And most of the time I'm on Discord. I know that most people are on Telegram, but I've just got myself locked out of Telegram. So I've been struggling to get back on there. So we'll see how I get on. But let's go. All right. So we're going to get into the stats for the day. We're going to have a look. Scroll down. The sacrifice for the day is day 37. And of course, we did $1,267,000 US. And of course, that compared to 1.3 million yesterday. So just slightly less than yesterday, day 36. And now we're on day 38. We've got 205,000. And of course, that's pretty amazing. And we've still got 19 and a half hours to go. So pretty cool until day 38 wraps. And of course, our balance at the end of day 37 was $1,012,237,000. And obviously, we're $200,000 higher than that now on day 38. So pretty cool. Just slowly tracking along there, onwards and upwards. So those are the results for live results and, of course, the day 37 results. Pretty cool. And I love covering them on this channel because, you've got to enjoy the journey as well as the end goal. We want to enjoy the journey as well. So I hope you guys are enjoying this coverage every day because I'm enjoying it. And it is a lot of fun. Let's get into the sacrifice rate table. And, of course, this is what was going to happen in the future. Just so you know, if you're thinking about holding off on your sacrifice, maybe you're a bit late to the party or something. You're still relatively early on the price curve, but obviously you're going to pay a higher price, and therefore you'd need a higher break-even price when the market of PulseX goes live. But, of course, most of us is pretty super bullish on the X returns. So I think it's, not investment advice, but pretty good opportunity. So let's have a look here. So we're on day 38, and it's $3.56 for 10,000 points. So $1 will now get you 2,812 PulseX points. So it is starting to come down. So just taking that into account, previously $1 would have got you 10,000 all the way back on day 12 or earlier. Now, of course, on day 38, that is 2,812 points. Obviously, you get more than those points if you've got a volume multiplier. In other words, if your US dollars is higher. So if you've got something like $3,000, you might get 3,000 points. So you're adding on at least probably close to 300 points for that if you had a higher sacrifice amount. Now, this is indicative, of course, this is volume multiplier. This is, just current time, F7. Okay, so I think this might actually have been updated since the second there, so the 4th of February. So that looks pretty good. Let's have a look here, UTC. Actually, it's still got the old value, ETH sacrifice, 984. So it's close, though. It's a pretty good close indication here. Let's scroll down all the way down to day 54. This is the last day of the volume multiplier. Remember, we've got the second component as the volume multiplier. So basically, if you got 10,000 and then you got 1.5, that would end up giving you a total of 15,000 points, kind of like that. That's how that works. But the last day on day 54 of the volume multiplier is $7.76 for the 10,000 points. And, of course, the last day to compete for the volume multiplier for your US dollar sacrifice versus everybody else, of course, is the last day on that day 54, which is approximately the 20th of February. And then, of course, the last 5 days, we move on to a flat rate, and the volume multiplier, the second component, is basically disappears. Everyone gets 1.75. There's no more competition there. Of course, the volume multiplier is between people are competing between 1 and 2.5. Obviously, the big whales are getting the big 1.5. And, of course, if we go back to the leaderboard, You can see that if we go to top 100, you can see that the top whale there is getting somewhere between 2.42, 2.5 on that. So I think that's on the actual scale. So we've got the top whale. I think we've got top whale here. Still got that. So yeah, somewhere in that mark. A couple of people in here as well. Nice one. All right, so let's jump over to the next section, but let's catch up on the comments here. Man Barley says, live Omen MG. I need a green screen and a double, says Matt. Maybe you should set yourself up, Matt. And you probably got the cool air coming through in Bali, so it'll probably keep you cool all the time. My camera adds 50 pounds, just saying, in advance. Nice one. And Superman is to the moon, says Brownie. Hey, nice one, Brownie. Good to see it as well. Very, very cool. Brownie is in the house, y'all. Brownie's in the house. Let's jump over to Hex and have a look at Hex now. Here we go. So Hex.com. This is where it all started. And, of course, look, this refresh last couple of days looks fantastic. It's a beautiful match, I think, between excitement and a little bit of corporate. That's a pretty nice little match up there. Future investing, all that good stuff there. The cool metrics, very, very nice on that with the chart. This looks pretty nice. Well done, of course. So looking good. All right, so that's lots of cool stuff there. And let's jump over to the market price at the moment. So we're currently at 18.78 cents US for Hex. We are in this channel going sideways at the moment, and between 17 cents and 20 cents. And at the moment, we're right pretty much almost in the middle of it, almost in the middle at the moment. We've broken this downward little triangle wedge that we have, depending on how you want to set that up. And, of course, we've broken out of that, so nice with time. So that's quite positive. And, of course, we never hit the 16 cents, so that's positive too. We do have the liquidity on Uniswap Vision 3 has $1 million of buy support or bid support. So that's helping support the price from not going down. So we're really holding that pretty nicely. So that's looking good. We're also moved up almost close to the middle of the Bollinger Bands. So the blue lines here is the top 95%, the bottom 95% of bottom 5%, I should say, of the price range, and the red line there is the 50%. So we're almost at the 50% there too. So it's kind of looking good. Kind of looking good there. And what else? We've in the bigger triangle is going on there. So the bigger triangle, and of course we want to break up here. We want to break this up here. I've got the green arrow, of course. This is based on this big run here, just showing what's possible, and that we are, at least from my point of view, expecting this to happen at some stage, either to break all-time high before Pulsechain launches, or to actually get up to 60 to 70 cents. Those are my two targets. So reach all-time high or break up to 60 to 70 cents. I think that's probably the case. And then possibly after the Pulsechain, we'll have a bit of a lull, bit of a dip, and then we'll move up to attack the $1 on both chains. So if the price is currently 18 cents, we split down to 9 cents each, and then we've got a high potentially at 56 cents, so 6x. I think I'm pretty happy. Overwatch has pointed that out. I think that makes a lot of sense, and that would push us over $1.10, and I think we could go to at least $1.30. So that's kind of some of the price predictions there, but it also depends on how the Pulsechain is the Pulsechain and the block height for the Pulsechain mainnet is set up in terms of communications by Richard, but we may get some whales move earlier than even any signals that Richard gives. So it's going to be interesting to see that. I certainly think the TA could set us up for that too, and of course the big whales might say, hey, we're at the liquidity buy support now. It's time to go. It's time to start picking up some bags, and we'll see some strong green candles. We'll start seeing some green candles, something like this. We might have a bit of a hold off there, and then we get a big run up on the price there. So wouldn't be surprised at that at all. Let's have a quick look over at the DMI. This is the image that we're trying to look for. I did the Hex price prediction video, so we're trying to look for this here. We want to get over the 25 line on the DMI, and of course we've got here the DMX or the signal line here. We want these to cross over. So we want at the moment we're not seeing that. This is what we really want to see, but we're not seeing that at the moment. And so let me just take these off at the moment. So at the moment, we're not seeing that. We want to get this here going over. We don't care where this goes. We want it on an uptrend. This is the momentum of this trend. So this is the directions of the trend. So we want the buyer's direction to cross over the seller's direction. And, of course, we want the momentum in orange to go up as well. And we really have confirmation of an uptrend when we get the green direction crossing the red direction, the sellers. And of course, we get a good momentum on that trend if we get over this 25 mark. Now we are over 20, so that sort of signals that maybe we're getting there, but we really want to see these three pass over. That's why I said in the poll that we had the other day that maybe 3 to 7 days we might see this start to cross over. So we're watching that intently in the next few days to see what happens here. But I'm feeling pretty good about it. So we'll see how that goes. And of course, the RSI, we've got plenty of room for a run up. So I think the TA is looking quite good from my point of view. We've just got to wait and see whether this what actually builds out that scenario. But once again, we're getting closer in time to the end of the PulseX. So if we take our little ruler, we crossed it over to the end of PulseX. You know, we're looking at 21 days. So we're in the 3-week mark now. So it's really going to count down. When we got to 1 month, it started counting down real quick. Now we've got pretty much three weeks. And man, oh man, it's counting down. We're seeing some unusual transaction numbers just jump up on the Pulsechain. So is Richard going to actually do Pulsechain testnet 3? And if he does, is that just going to be like the final shell? Is he going to do a lot of the actual testing AMM bot stuff on Pulsechain testnet 2? We'll see how that goes. Is he just going to do a final rehearsal with Pulsechain testnet 3? And will that be quite short? So we're waiting to find out some answers to these questions. So we'll see how that plays out. As well. So I think the earliest that is still earliest at the moment based on current information is still 5th of March, but maybe we're looking more around the 18th of March. But once again, once we get more information, we'll be able to get even better realistic expectations around the launch time for sure. But definitely Richard's going to game that quite a lot. So it should be a lot of fun as we wait in patience for the launch. Very, very cool. So yeah, probably the earliest period is in this March area, but we should be, if the software takes a little bit longer, maybe we're not quite as ahead as we thought we would be with the AMM bot and the coding and all sorts of stuff, and the Pulse and the DAO incentive, all that sort of stuff that we may have to, it may just trickle over into possibly April. So just we've got to be pragmatic about that. We're getting there. We're getting there. The min viable product is looking spectacular. We've got the Uniswap, we've got the Pulsechain bridge. We've got the Hex go.hex for Hex staking on Pulsechain, and of course the PulseX is in the house as well. But that's just behind the scenes, so we haven't seen that openly. And of course, we're expecting the AMM bot to run, and of course the DAO incentive, and those are the key things as well as the distribution. So those are the three things that we're waiting to see, plus possibly PulseX on side. So nice, and Francisco, woohoo! Absolutely. Hey, we've got another Russian bot in there, but it's been done. Craig Welling is on it. Okay, thanks, Craig Welling, on that one. So the moderators are killing it on the Russian bots. Very, very cool. So that's kind of where we're expecting at the moment. So we're in the final 3 weeks of PulseX, man. We are counting it down. 59 days. It's going to be quickly over. And of course, we're all going to be getting angsty once it's over. We'll be like, oh, what do we do now? What do we do now? Well, you know what we do? We stake it. We stake it and relax. We just get those T-shares and get a double copy on Pulsechain. And of course, what will we do? I know a lot of people are wanting to onboard into Hex, and of course, they're waiting for Pulsechain, so it's super cheap, super fast. So we're all waiting for that too. So it's going to be a lot of fun. All right, let's jump over to Richard Hart and have a look at the Nascar Daytona 500. This is a press release that by Taylor Kennedy. It was posted, and Richard retweeted about 8 hours ago. And man, the cars look so good. We're going to check all that out, of course, on Richard's tweets. So let's jump over to Nascar. Bam, here we are, NASCAR.com. Now, we'll put the links in the video description. But here is NASCAR, and bam, actually might as well put it in the chat while I'm here. Bam. All right, Aspire says it as it is. Stake it to make it. I love that. Nice one, Aspire. And Hex, there we are, NASCAR.com. So we're going to scroll down. This is NASCAR. We're going to scroll down to the bottom. We've got all the cool stuff happening on there. Now, remember, the audience for this is somewhere between 7 and 10 million people. So it's a big sporting event in America, has a huge, huge following. And, of course, we're just scrolling down here on the main page. Stop me when you think that I've seen something. We've got Pitbull on Pit Road Live, presented by Coca-Cola. So we've got some big personalities in this, as well as the races. Very, very cool. We're scrolling down, folks. And, of course, we've got Floyd Mayweather this year. So not only is Hex sponsoring a car, But Floyd Mayweather Jr. is launches the Money Team Racing, and of course we're going to check that out too. So very cool. Look who else is in the house. UFC President Dana White is with the Trackhouse Racing Partners is in the house as well. So it sees quite a 3 big names dropped already. We haven't even got down. Whoa! Stop! What is this? We've got JJ Yelly to 10th Daytona 500 with MBM Sports. But what's that on the car? Oh my gosh, it's Hex.com. You know how we rock. So that's pretty exciting. So we're going to jump over that, folks. We're in the same, our news article is in the same area as Dana White, Floyd Mayweather, and of course Pitbull on the same page. So is that badass or what? So this is actually a big deal. And it does part of that growth of Hex, Pulsechain, PulseX, just expanding out, and of course starting to get more mainstream acknowledgement, promotion, brand awareness. It is pretty exciting. So it's a pretty big deal. And Craig says, America, we love driving in circles for hours. That's right. 500. So Daytona 500 is 500 miles, folks. 500 miles of driving around that track. But if you've been there, I've been there when it was not on. I went there when they were just rehearsing in the tracks, and it is pretty cool watching the cars. And it is like an amphitheater of awesomeness. It really is a lot of fun. Brendan says, when will a big race be on? We're going to check that. And beautiful exposure, says Alex K. I think so too. Great to have Alex K in the house, our head moderator. Nice. Let's jump over to that. Of course, bam, here it is. 15 days and 20 hours, 38 minutes and 37 seconds left to go. It is going to be held on Sunday, February the 20th. There are races before this, of course, but this is the big one. 15 days, 20 hours, and 38 minutes to go, folks. The 20th of February is when the Daytona 500 is going to be on, and very exciting to see that. You can see we've got lots of cool stuff happening there. And, of course, what a great year. You've got this opening up with all these new people, Floyd Mayweather, Hex.com coming into it, Richard Hart coming into the house. Pretty awesome for that too. So that's the countdown. And, of course, these are the races coming up in February. They got the Busch Light Crash, which is on the 6th. They got the Blue-Green Vacations Duel 1 at Daytona, the Blue-Green Vacations Duel 2 at Daytona. These are on the 17th of February. And then, of course, the Daytona 500 miles around the track, folks. It is crazy. And then February the 20th there, followed by the Wise Power 400. So that's the March, the lineup there. Pretty cool. And, of course, we have 15 days and 20 hours to go until the big race. So very exciting. Lots of time for exposure, lots of time for marketing. And, of course, as I understand it, we're going to have at least 3 film crews there, possibly the highest of stakes, the Tour 555 guys, and possibly Kinetics team there filming as well. So it's going to be pretty exciting to see that play out. So it's going to be pretty fun. All right, what else we got going in it? As far as playing out the Hex token rockets, I love it. Let's post some of those. I like that too. We're going to Hex on the way there, and we're going to post some of that myself. Bam. All right, so cool. And we've got Loomies in house. This story should be on the front page of every crypto news site. Yet we see nothing but crickets. The gatekeeping is real. Seems to be so, Loomy. I'm just not sure whether the crypto's used to doing stories like this, Loomy. I'm just not sure whether they're used to having projects do this cool stuff like this. Maybe I think that's possibly it, because a lot of the projects, are very insulated. If you get Bitcoin, be Bitcoin, but not a lot about the marketing. I think that these are the things that are making Hex, Pulsechain, PulseX communities under the Richard Hart empire are doing things different. They're paying it forward. They're giving back. They're promoting. They're working together. All these things are seen to be pretty unique. And, of course, the growth of the community is just expanding leaps and bounds. As I said, 2022, 2023, these are 2 years that are going to be massive for virality, as well as the big whales coming in. It's going to be pretty exciting. Cool. And Hex Machine says, we have quality first, more exposure. Absolutely. Matt says, woohoo, they need 5 cars, 1 for each coin, and more chance of winning the race too. Hey, Matt, that's a good idea. That is pretty cool. And I believe there's the top 40 cars. I think it's 40 cars, the ones that have to qualify. So I'm not sure about that. And Kansas says he has to qualify on the Friday before getting the race on Sunday. That's true, correct. But then I think if he doesn't qualify for that, he then can flow over to 2 other races, right? Las Vegas, and I just forget the other name of the other race that he can possibly qualify if he doesn't make it. But, of course, he is a very good driver. I think he's one of the few drivers that have won another category of race, which just skips my mind as well. Mike says, NASCAR looks boring, but when you go to track and just follow one car, it's very complex and tame. I agree with you, Michael, absolutely. And Lumi says, I hear you, brother. They aren't ready for what is coming 22 to agree. And first time in 50 years I heard about Daytona 500, says Pro. So yeah, well, I went there when I was visiting in Florida a long time ago. When I went, of course, it probably would have been classic history. But I think I went all the way back in 19. Was going to date me, of course, but 1988. I think I was there. So that would be what you'd call probably classic history now in Daytona 500. Pebble by pebble will make a mountain, absolutely. And Talladega, thanks, X Machine. I just forgot the name. So it's Las Vegas or Talladega. Of course, Talladega Nights is that famous movie, isn't it? Talladega Nights. So nice. So very cool. Daytona 500 is an iconic 500-mile NASCAR Cup Series season opener held annually at the Daytona International Speedway on Daytona Beach, Florida. Considered the most prestigious and important race in NASCAR. The Daytona has opened the NASCAR season every February since 1982. And I just told you I went there in 1988, so that was only 6 years after this. So it was one of 2 Cup Series races held at Daytona, with the second a 400-mile event at the regular season final. Richard Petty owns the series, best 7 Daytona 500 wins, followed by Carl Yarborough, and with 4. So those are the I guess the Hall of Famers there, and Denny Hamlin is the only active driver with multiple victories, 3 in the Great American Race. This will be a first points race paying race with the new next generation car for the NASDAQ Cup Series. It gives you a bit of detail around that. So cool. All right, let's jump over to, of course, this is the one of 2. This is a press release, but one of 2 posts on this so far that I have seen. So it's by Taylor Kennedy. This is the one that Richard Hart tweeted out. So if we go back to Richard Hart there, he tweeted this out here by Taylor Kennedy. That you can see there. And of course, we're going to have a quick read of that. So this tweet that called the community who answered record-setting crypto community sponsors record-setting driver. So cool. This driver is a record-setting driver, so we have a good chance, in my view. And of course, the car looks spectacular. Look at that, man. That is very cool. I actually like the way this is colored. I think this is going to stand out a lot amongst all the cars with the black backdrop to emphasize the Hex colors here. Look at this, the 5.5. Now they had to request the 5.5. I believe that they were going to be allocated number 13, I think, and they had to request the 5.5, and they got it. Man, oh man, that's so good. And of course, Hex.com easily seeable here, and the colors look spectacular standing out there. So really nice. More Hex logos there as well. You got JJ Yelly at the top there. Very nice. 55 on top. Yelly at the top there as well. And man, look at the protection on the cars, because crazy. But you need it with these cars, man. That's so good. So beautiful. There's the back, 38% APY annual percentage yield. Love it. And Hex.com in the back. So Hex.com in the front and the back. On the sides, nice, man. And of course, it's going to look beautiful with the cameras as it comes around. Everybody's going to see this car. This car is awesome. And I tell you what, I think it's way better than the Floyd Mayweather car by a country mile. It is pretty epic, epic. All right, so Triple Crown champion and he's the Triple Crown champion and one of just 2 drivers in USAC history to ever win all 3 national titles in a single season. JJ Yelly. So we've got a very good young driver to drive for us. So that's giving us a good chance. Recently announced his plans to run the Daytona 500 with sponsorship from Hex.com crypto community. So woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! It is cool. Yes, in just 5 days, over 640,000 was raised from the tweet that started all. And this is from Agape Hex. Of course, we've covered this before. A friend of mine called me this week and asked if I knew a company who would sponsor a NASCAR team. I told her I didn't know a company, but I knew a community. And of course, that's you guys out there. Very cool. And that's on Twitter. So nice. And then, of course, we've got this cool artwork here with the cars, all the different directions, and the outfit that the driver's going to wear. So JJ Yelly, JJ Yelly is going to wear this car outfit. Look at that, man. It's so badass. So cool. And got Hex.com down the side, Hex.com on the front. And man, that is so cool. Can you imagine this guy getting out? You guys are going to go nuts. I'm going to go nuts. You can imagine with all the crowd there. It's been sold out again. Every year it's got sold out again. Of course, it's going to be a full crowd. And man, the atmosphere is just going to be nuts. Users of the blockchain's first certificate of deposit, Hex.com, are building substantial wealth with its time deposit feature called staking, returning an average 38% APY on top of underlying price performance. These returns have been consistent across 2020, 2021, and now into 2022. creating thousands of new millionaires. At the time of writing, Hex has over 77,000 users with active stakes of $12 billion. Nice. Driven by performance, Hex and JJ seem the perfect pair. During an interview last week on Twitter Spaces, JJ commented, "My entire life has been built around racing. I graduated high school a year earlier just to get out and race." When asked what drives him, JJ replied, "It's the competition. This is what I do. This is what I love." I love that. So I love competitive people. That is so good. Iron sharpens iron, much the same as JJ sets record in the USAC. Hex.com has set records in cryptocurrency with 24 USAC wins in the 2003 season. JJ broke the long-standing all-time record of 19 set by AJ Foyt in 1961. And, of course, later it's tied by Sleepy Trip in 88 and then Drake 007. So this is really a long gap between those breakings, the rules, the records there. So it's pretty nice. Hex set records as well, launching as a first finished product with 100% uptime and price performance that outpaces both Bitcoin and Ethereum from launch. Now, the cool thing about this, of course, is that JJ is going to end up having these one-liners. So when he gets interviewed, he'll be having one-liners about Hex being certificate of deposit, about the yield and all that sort of stuff. So it's going to be really great to see and a sports ambassador at this level with this level of exposure, like we say, 7 to 10 million people at least watching this race. It's going to be pretty awesome. Got a couple of the charts there from of Hex course, and we got some. Here's Motley Investor, obviously a well-known a community member. I love all the donations and OGs who bought out big money, but honestly, it was the smallest guys who really tugged on my heartstrings, telling me they are brand new, but really want to contribute $100 to $200 to have brand new community members give up the opportunity cost to buy Hex and participate where they can. I don't think you can find this elsewhere, so that was pretty nice. So he also was co-helping with this. Last week's interview closed the positive send-off. You've got the best community in crypto behind you. Best of luck, man. So I do think that gives a real signal to how awesome this community is, pays it forward, is willing to help other teams as well as get out and promote their own investment. So it's pretty nice. JJ replied, "I'm definitely excited about it. It's been a few years since they've sold out this early. And, of course, everyone is so stoked and excited about getting to Daytona and checking out the new car and seeing really what's going to happen." So very awesome stuff, folks. That car looks stellar. It's really going to start. That black looks perfect on the backdrop there. Nice. So let's get to the second article, but let's catch up on some of the tweets there. Sorry, in the comments in the chat. We got Matt says, "Can we get Scott McCollum in the car? His next mission, maybe." Yeah, maybe. And Loyal says, "Have you ever want to drive a car really fast on the beach? That's a Daytona inspiration." That's true. I think I went past Daytona after we went there. We went down to the beach there at Daytona. It would be nice, Hex, in the next Olympic Games. That would be true. It'd be nice to get some of those people represented there. Brennan said, "Hey, you never know where they might see Hex rolling around one of the Olympic stadiums. V8 supercars start soon. We need a Hex car for that as well. Put it on SVG's car." That's true. And Craig Glenn says, "I attended a NASCAR race at Old Dominion once. I've been about 20 years ago in Virginia. It's loud as heck, but a good time." Yeah, definitely. Fresh AF, says Jamie. And original races were on the sand at the beach doing an oval. That would make sense because I went down to Daytona Beach and there were cars all along the beach there. It's a kind of American thing to do, like big four-wheel drives on the beach. But that definitely was the case. That's probably where it did. Hex Buller says, "Hi, Hexkins, smash the like." Hey, Hex Buller, thanks so much for your support on Twitter. Big shout out, Hex Buller. To go make sure you follow Hex Buller on Twitter. Lumi says, "Oh my God, could you imagine if he actually wins the race?" That's right. That is the possibility. That's what we have. It could be pretty cool. The amount of eyes on Hex at the moment could be insane. But every time it goes around, 500 times it goes around. So assuming he gets on that racetrack, gets in there, qualified, it's 500 times around. People are going to see that car on the camera. It's going to be pretty badass. And if he wins it, man, oh man, that's just like all over the place. It's going to be crazy. It would be nice Hex to get in Olympic Games. Go Hex 55, says Sam. And Matt says, "Love those supercars, even the old Nissan GRs." And our dark horse, yeah, absolutely. Great streaming again, bro. Would have been really great for Kiwis and Hexkins. Our driver was Dixon. Yeah, Dixon was a good driver there, John. Michael says, "At NASCAR, you can buy beer and a bucket." Ha ha, nice one. And hopefully they have Bing tanks now. Bing tanks. Hey, big shout out to Lumi. Thanks for the super sticker. Woohoo! Just want to say that I appreciate you, brother. And even though I really speak in the chat, I am often here watching, liking, and supporting. Salute. Hey, salute to you, Lumi. I'm very, very excited about that. Appreciate it. Thank you. And I have been following the D1 drifting in New Zealand at the moment. Bummed that Cole Armstrong isn't in it. Love that Kiwi fella, says Brendan. And Simple Believers in the house, another Hex Token channel member. Today, Amazon did horrible on earnings, but went up 15%. Manipulation will kill you if you're a trader. Practice hodl. And I watched that too myself. I watched that stuff. And of course, Facebook got smashed on the market today. Axe Fame says, loving the new design and specs required for the cars, like the 18-inch wheels, carbon fiber underbody to eliminate dirty air. They're definitely going to be more driving action skills involved. Yeah, absolutely. And we'll get to the final couple comments here. I must have had too many bintangs when it was mentioned. But what is the 55? Well, I guess it's 555. It is the racing number of the car, of the driver. Island Loop. Yeah, they were going to get 13, 555, Matt, but we can have that on the car. So I had to set it 55. That's right. You're welcome, man. Yeah, nice. 200 laps, says Sam Schaefer. 200 laps. Nice. All right, so here we are. We've got JJ Yeller. This is the second article. This is the one actually on the NASCAR site. So if we go to NASCAR, and of course we get down, scroll down, this is the second one here. That takes us to this article here. And of course, so this is actually on jski.com. Malco Enterprises pleased to announce its partnership with MBM Sports, Motorsports, Hex.com, AXA Holdings, and veteran driver JJ Yelly, and in preparation for the 2022 Daytona 500, which takes place on February the 20th at Daytona International Speedway, Daytona Beach, Florida. This partnership marks the first time Hex.com has sponsored a NASCAR race car. Blockchain's first certificate of deposit. Hex.com is building substantial wealth with its time deposit. It's called staking, etc. So that's we've read that before. Owned by the longtime NASCAR Carl Long, is fielding a second car specific for Yelly now that Hex.com and Malco Enterprises are involved. So they're doing two cars, MBM, so nice, and Yelly will drive the number 54 Ford next generation Mustang. And of course, Mustangs are pretty awesome, right? And I just love them too. A very popular car in America too. Joining teammate Timmy Hill in car number 66. Woo-hoo! That's pretty cool. Well, hopefully 55 wins out in there. We're extremely excited to partner with MBM Motorsports, Hex.com, and JJ Yelly, all the while bringing a new sponsors to the sports that's cutting edge in the crypto space, said Malcolm Enterprises CEO, and of course, Malco Enterprise CEO Josh Maloney. We look forward to working together to take on a very competitive field at Daytona. Very, very cool. So MBM Motorsports. So awesome stuff. That is so good. And of course, that is on the main page there in the news flow right after Dana White, Floyd Mayweather, and of course Pitbull doing the presenting by Coca-Cola. So nice on that one. So that's pretty cool. Now let's have a look at Floyd Mayweather's car. Let's do that. So here is let's have a look. So here is the Hex car, which I think looks amazing. I think they did the right balance, perfectly balanced. And of course, here's Floyd Mayweather's car, and this is a nice looking car, but very busy, very busy. And there it is there. So I definitely would stack up without any bias at all. The old car for I've got too far down here. Let me this one here. So I'm not sure if that pulls up there. So yeah. So this is Money Team Racing, NASCAR Cup News, and of course this is the car here. So they got 50. We got 55, which is funny, and of course Pit Viper. But hey, I think the Hex car is going to stand out. This is a nice looking car, but it's not going to stand out because I think it probably get mixed in with a lot of the other cars. But let me know your thoughts in the chat about that. So this is out the Hex car, which I think looks amazing. And yeah, then here's the Floyd Money Mayweather. It looks a bit busy, but it is nice. I mean, it's nice looking, but it's busy. So cool. Let's go. Matt says, got it, Craig. Thanks. And DJ Yeller should play Hex Nation. Yeah, heard the driver pick 55 because of Hex inspiration. That's right. They actually had to apply for it because I think they were getting number 13. Is how I understand it there. Little noob. Daytona International Speedway is 4Ks long and 500-mile race that requires 200 laps to compete. Fun facts. Nice one, Brownie. Appreciate that. And one of its sets, said Brenton. Floyd be busy wiping his tears off his eyes as the Hex car zooms fast. I like that, Matt. That's so true. Was it easy work, easy work, easy money or something? Whatever. It's going to be like that for Hex. That's Hex. That's not the way it goes. So I agree that Hex car will stand out like a dog's balls. Yeah. Hex car looks way better. I agree. I agree with that. Hex car really looks absolutely. You can see that on the racetrack. That's going to stand out, man. That's just punchy there. And the black was a perfect backdrop for the bright colors. And so that's so good. It really makes them pop a lot more. Whereas this car is fully colored, right? Fully colored. So it sort of starts phasing into each other. Nice, but not outstanding like this Hex car is amazing. So very, very cool. So that's some of the cool stuff there. Let's jump into, let's go back and have a little refresh of PulseX and see how that's going on. So that's the big news at the moment. A lot of people talking about that on a lot of the streams. I couldn't resist it myself. It is fantastic news. And 7 to 10 million people, expected to watch the Daytona 500, and it's fully sold out too. It is exciting. So there we are, looking good. So 1,459,000. I don't know if I actually refreshed that. Let me just double check. Yeah, so that's where we're at the moment. Total sacrifice and looking good. All right. Don't forget, we're going to jump on to liquid loans. Don't forget to get your referral code. So you can use my link in the video description. Grab your own link. And what that will give you, if you share that link and you are participating in the liquid loans, then that will give you 5% of the person. So if someone uses your referral code, they'll get 5% of their sacrifice, and you will also get 5% of their sacrifice points. And so obviously, if they, particularly if they stake long, they're going to get more points. So you get 5% of that. Now, if you get over 10 people referred, you'll also get 10% of your own, your own sacrifice points. So there's a pretty cool win-win program there, and the referrals aren't too high that it makes the sacrifice too silly. Now it has got 3 components. Earlier pays better. Bigger pays better. Longer pays better on it, so you can take that as well. So let me just jump on there. I've got to go back there and remind myself of the third component. I think I might have forgotten it, but let me jump over to there. Go to referral program. I understand. We're going to scroll down and we're going to go to this one here. I think this one, hopefully it's going to work. No, it's not working again. I don't know why the links stopped working. Maybe they've pulled that off because they're going to be, maybe they're going to do the sacrifice so soon that the link's no longer working here. It's really bizarre. I did that yesterday, remember, and it didn't do anything. Let me have a look here. Maybe it's this one here. Would that work? No, that's still not working. Maybe they're taking it off because they're updating it. Maybe that's why they've done that. But anyway, so we're waiting for that to happen. So basically, you'll get to this page. Just add in your MetaMask wallet address, and then, of course, that will generate you a secret little referral. It will hide your MetaMask wallet, but it'll have the referral there. You can share that around. You'll get 5% bonus. Plus, if you do really well, you get 10%. So it's pretty nice on there. Now, obviously, this is liquid loans. So this is not a Richard Hart project, but I think it fits in pretty well with the ecosystem. It has this awesome video here, which plays out, and it's very, very good animation. So definitely worth watching that. So that's pretty neat there. You can see the animations are a second to none. They really are fantastic on here. So definitely worth watching the 4-minute video. It's probably the best promo video explainer that I've seen. So it's very, very cool. Now, this is the ecosystem, of course. Basically, people will take the PLS and lock it in the vault. Most people will do that. And then, of course, they'll get USDL out of there. If you do a 10% borrow and at 0% interest, of course, you're borrowing against your own asset, your PLS that you put into the vault. And then if you do 10%, that's a pretty low risk. And, of course, that's what we call 1,000% collateral. And then you can take your USDL. You can just hold it, or you can go and spend it, or you can go and put it in the stability pool. So if you put it in a stability pool, the price of PLS goes down, you can then take your USDL and go buy PLS if it's cheaper and recollateralize, or you can buy PLS and put it into here and recollateralize that way. So there's a couple of options that you have there. And of course, if you put it into here, you will also be able to get loan token and PLS on the platform. And of course, you can then take your loan token, put it in the loan staking, and then in PLS and USDL as well. And that's basically from fees that are used for collateralizing. There's a small fee, 0.5% to 5%, depending on what you're doing and what's happening in the ecosystem, and also potential liquidations for people that are very high risk takers and get caught out by the market. So there's lots of that stuff happening too. So you can either spend or reinvest. So there's lots of different strategic strategies you can do, and we've called them the haunted strategy, the hot pool strategy, and there's quite a few others now hunting around the place. So definitely something worth looking at. Craig Browning says, let's hope Yelly doesn't emergency in-stake halfway through the race. That's true. That's true, Craig. And Matt and Barley says, Floyd pumped a crap coin 3 years back. Suck me in, says Matt. And that's pretty funny, Matt. And Pro Hexer says, can it be Hex on 2 cars or more? It could be Hex car PLS, car PLSX car. And thanks, Superman. What a legend. Woohoo, says Jamie. Hey, nice one, Jamie. Appreciate that. Hey, the other thing, of course, is that, hey, you know, as time goes on, people in Pulsechain, Hex, and that, we might end up buying the, I don't know if that's for sale, but we could end up buying the whole NASCAR 500 or something, you know, something like that. It'd be pretty crazy as well. All right, so Craig says, hit the like, and like, or your feet will smell bad in the morning, says Craig. Nice one. All right, so that there is the setup for liquid loans. I do think it fits in pretty well, as I say. It's kind of like the banking lending arm of the ecosystem. If Hex is the savings account, this is kind of the zero interest lending against your own asset type of bank, and that's much better than borrowing from a bank. Who you know, if you have any issues with banks, then they'll come after you with all the full force of oppression on you. So it's a good way of being your own bank. And of course, you're also the platform and exchange of Pulsechain and PulseX is going to be supercharged. So man, I just can't wait. Like, good thing is that we're learning patience, we're learning delayed gratification, and of course, we're not trading. We're trying to play for the long-term value. So that's where you get the big X's from. There will be a lot of people that go for 2x, 3x, 5x, or whatever. They'll be out and they'll have missed the big run up. And that's just the way it goes. We see that time and time again. And as I say, I point out on I always point out on that famous video of that guy who sold his Hex. He had 16 million Hex. He sold his Hex, and then he was going to buy back in, but the price started going up, and he kept waiting, and for the price to come down, it kept going up. This is in the AA lobby, by the way, and then the price kept going up, and of course the market price was following. And well, the AA lobby was kind of following the market price, but matching it. And so, that's what happened. But then he ended up buying back. I think he ended up with, I don't know, he might have ended up with a million and a half or something. I can't remember now. But yeah, he got back in eventually. And he would have done pretty well. But certainly 16 million was a lot different to what he would have had. But that's lessons learned. If you do that for Pulsechain, PulseX, then if you get out early, it could go before you, it could jump up in price before you even, when you think the price is really down low and everyone's upset, a bit like people have been in Hex lately, then you will see suddenly the market will move and those people get all caught out, you know. So just some experience there to be lended for sure. Matt and Barley says, smashed it hard, but they still smell, says Matt. And 100x, then 500x for me, no less, says Matt. Nice one. I like that a lot. All right, so that there is the liquid loans. So it's definitely something to keep on there. They've actually grown pretty fast. Let's go have a look at their the Connect. We're going to go to Connect here, and we're going to go to Twitter and see what they've got here at the moment. They've got 5,125 followers on Twitter, and I'm sure they've got a lot more on Telegram. I just don't have access to that at the moment, but pretty cool. And what else they had on today? 4 hours ago. Close your eyes and imagine what would happen to the price of PLS if every single one of these wallet owners understood the power of never selling. And that's the other thing, of course, with the liquid loans is that people can never sell their Pulse. They can just put it on the collateralize it and pull out the USDL. Never have to sell the Pulse. So Pulse keeps going up and to the right, over time. They've still got their PLS and they're having to sell it. They can just borrow against it at 0% interest, excluding the fee, of course. Got to take the fee into account. But that's the way it works. So that's kind of what they're alluding to here. Truth is, if you took part in the Pulsechain sacrifice, you want everyone to know about liquid loans. Retweet. And the other thing, of course, if people do follow the hoarded strategy en masse, that will create a whole nother form of leveraged buying, where people are leveraging against their Pulse, going to buy Pulse on the market, and then pushing the price of Pulse up. So that's kind of the idea that sort of circles around. So that sort of is another buying demand for Pulse. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. And of course, there is a previous example. The contracts are basically a fork of Liquidity, which is a project that runs on Ethereum. But the problem that project's had over there is the same problem as everybody else, and that is the high gas fees, and of course making transactions uneconomic, particularly if you're lending for a lot of the smaller retailers in particular. So that's some of the issues, but that won't be on Pulsechain, where it's going to be super cheap and super fast. So going to be interesting watching that play out. Nice. All right, so that was liquid loans, folks. Once again, grab yourself a referral code, and let's jump over to the market and see how Hex is getting on at the moment. We're going to jump into the hourly chart. I didn't do this before, so we're going to have a look at this. Going to get rid of all our lines, and we're going to zoom this up. Let's do that. So you can actually see just on the hourly here, there's all the hourlies. They've just been zigzagging along in this channel at the moment between 17 and 20 cents. We're going to zoom that up, of course. And you can see us on the hourly. We're right in the middle of the Bollinger Bands here at the moment. You can see the volumes down here. Now, this is the USD up here on version 3. And, of course, this is where it's got a lot of the buying support and for Hex as well. So we did cover that a couple of days ago with Alex K as well, giving us some links to the Uniswap where all that buying support has been set up as bids. So that's pretty cool to see that. Easy Scott, woo. Yeah, absolutely. We've got the pump. So that's pretty much where we're at the moment, 18.8 cents at the moment. Man, I just have a feeling that it's gonna take off. It's maybe in the next couple of days. It just looks like it's really ready to go. So we'll be watching out for that. And let's go back to here. I'm going to push back on the chart lines. Get up to here and yeah, so we already got a little bit of breakout here. This is kind of a soft breakout because we've got this line, but I think that it's looking good at the moment. When I say a soft breakout line, it's because the time, eventually you're going to break out of that as opposed to breaking out of it early. But that's actually looking pretty good at the moment. We've got a higher low. There's a low there. We've got a higher low here forming, and of course, just time is sticking there. So it's going to be fascinating to watch that play out. Yeah, so which our next spot we're looking to hit? Probably probably up to 24 cents. Probably where we want to go into this area here, where we're looking to break out into 24 cents. So maybe 22 to 24 cent range, break out into that, and then we can consolidate and of course start attacking the 28 cent mark. Is probably where we want to go from there. So 22, 24, 28, and then of course we've got to get over the 30 cent. Last time we thought that we might have a chance of breaking that 38. That would have made an early bull market at this stage, but we didn't end up doing that. So remember, we got up to 28, and we got as high as like 35 or so for the sacrifice back here, but we didn't end up breaking the 38, which was a possibility. But certainly after we had that huge run up, it was probably less likely, but not impossible at all, because we had like 190% run up there, whereas back here. We know that we can get that. So even from this run up, we had a run up of 180%. So maybe it was relatively the run up had finished. So getting up to 38 cents was going to be less likely at this stage. But there was a chance for that. ProHex says if 99% of wallets are not sell PLS and put it in liquid loans, the Pulsechain needs some liquid Pulse for transactions with the OA, then put in some liquidity in the ecosystem. I don't think so. Probably, I think that we're just going to have more buys, possibly, probably. So yeah, man, we've got another Russian bot, but Craig was onto it. So nice work today, Craig, as moderator. Very cool. So yeah, that's pretty much how that's going at the moment. We are waiting, and like I say, we just got to wait for this junction to cross. We're waiting for that junction to cross, and we want to get over this 25, and then that will give us confirmed momentum of an uptrend. So we just have to wait. We're not there yet. But the red line is coming down. That's positive. We just need this green line to uptick. It was upticking yesterday. Just ticked down a little bit today. We just need that to go up this way. The red is coming down. So I'm feeling kind of optimistic, and our RSI is lifting a little bit. We'll definitely watch that for sure. All right. I think that's probably where we're going to finish up now. Once again, let's have a look at these cars because I love it. We're going to have a look at that. Beautiful. That is a beautiful car for sure. So we're probably going to end up a little earlier today because it's pretty much the content I had for today's live stream. So I hope you guys are enjoying it. We're going to be obviously covering tomorrow as well. We'll have tomorrow we'll have PulseX day 38 results, and of course we'll be jumping into day 39 by the time we do this live stream tomorrow. So we're already counting them up, and of course 59 is going to be the total amount. It's going to be pretty cool. Craig says wipes Russian bot mess off with a mod rich. That's right. Craig is absolutely killing it on the moderating there. And Pulse Hexa says, thanks for the stream. See you next time. Hey, thanks, Pulse Hexa. Appreciate it. And we're going to thanks it out. Hey, if you're a Hex Token channel member, post some of those emojis, man. It's full of chat with some emojis. They are pretty cool. I'm so glad to have the Pulse Hex emoji in there now. It is absolutely looking gorgeous in there. So very cool. And Matt says, cars looking so cool. Where did that guy buy his Hex car shit from? I'm not sure. Post if you got the link. Let me leave a comment about where you got your Hex your NASCAR shirt from. I think maybe it's who was it that I was thinking of? Maybe it is. Let me just drop out of here. Maybe it is. Maybe you got your shirt from Motley Investor. Maybe Motley Investor's selling the shirts there. Craig, was it Craig that was hunting? Yeah. Oh no, Matt. I think Motley Investor might be selling shirts. I'm not sure where that's from. Brendan says, cheers for the daily update again, Hex Token. Hey, Brendan, appreciate it. I'll see you again tomorrow. And hey, Sinful Believer, loving it, rocking the emojis. Nice one, Sinful Believer. And thanks, bro, says Jamie. Thanks for watching. I say, of course, love your work. Thank you. And go, Craig. Go, Craig. Yeah, nice. Strong arms, lots of love. And of course, Brownie's in the house says, thanks, 10,000 X man, the best Hex YouTube out there. This completes my day. Hey, thanks, Brownie. It's a really nice compliment. Let's post out some emojis here. Here we go. Bam, bam, bam. This PulseX, folks, coming your way. Bam. There's not enough PulseX there. Nice one. All right. Thank you, Hex Token channel members, for your support. Thanks to all subscribers. Rocking on. We're going to head up towards 3,000. Thanks to everybody that comes and visits us, of course. We're up to 2,948. We need 52 some more subscribers. Let's see how we get on over the next day or two to head up towards that. It's going to be a lot of fun. And thanks there. Lots of rockets coming out. That's nice. Thomas says, thanks for the update. Hey, you're welcome. All right, take care now. Enjoy yourself, man. We are rocking it for 2022-23. And this NASCAR is just one of the cool things that we're going to see this year. It is one of many. There's so much happening. It's going to be a lot of fun. Bye for now.